on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. I would start the third hour. I like to always say something bad about Pat Beverly as I start the third hour of a Thursday show. He's in trouble again. What is the deal with this guy constantly having problems with the authorities? He's like John Cougar. I fight authority always wins.
Well, they didn't want to suspend Jamal Murray, but they did suspend Patrick Beverly. 4 games.
Racist.
Without pay. I guess that's next year when the season starts, if he's still in the league. 4 games for throwing the ball at the fans there last week, and then the inappropriate interaction with the media, which we played here on Coast to Coast when he was an absolute D to that woman who was just trying to do her job in the locker room after the game. I guess the police are involved too, which I'm just going to be honest with you, Scotty.
It's ridiculous.
As much as we want to, take swipes at Patrick Beverly all the time, that's nonsense. Police involved. He threw the basketball at the crowd. We'll throw him in jail. Is that what we're doing next? We're locking up Patrick Beverly for throwing the ball at the fans?
I think it's because he plucked 2 white chicks in the head, and that's why they're after him. And they don't like him. And I think it's ridiculous. He's suspended for 4 games. I wish he'd go away permanently from basketball because he's such a hack. He has no talent at all, zero. Someone explained to me how that guy's playing in the NBA. Honestly, there's no one on the face of the earth that could explain that to me. You just can't. He's the worst player I've ever seen in my life, and I mean it.
I think he's up there. There's worse things you could have said about him, and thankfully you didn't do that today.
Well, I was going to, but Frank the Tank once again saved me from a red phone call.
Frank the Tank, he doesn't want a red phone ring today.
At least I run it by you guys on the break before I ran it by you. What do you think will happen if I say this? And they're all like, "Oh God,
yeah, it's a red phone.
Don't do it. Just don't do it, Ferrall, please."
I want to get this going.
Meanwhile, your boy Luke, he's like, "Do it."
Yeah, Luke's like, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll take care of it. The Yankees,
Luke, I am your father.
The Yankees are looking to sweep the season series with the Astros coming up here in about a minute or two, Scotty. I don't know why they're starting at 5:05 in the Bronx today, but Judge, Soto, and Stanton all homered last night. They've been bashing the Astros around the last couple of days. You've got Marcus Stroman and Ronel Blanco going this late afternoon. Minus 145 for the Bombers, plus $1.20 for the Astros, and an 8.5 total. Let's go for the full 7 sweep, Scotty. 4 in Houston to start the year, 3 in the Bronx here this week to finish them off.
I am concerned about betting on the Yankees today with the showman on the mound based on the fact that all of my other baseball plays have gone down the toilet today. So I'm thinking it's time for a reversal of fortune. I will actually take Blanco and the Astros to upset the Yankees in the Bronx for their first win against New York all season.
Wow.
Everything else has gone south on me in baseball today. Thank God I hit all the NBA and NHL games.
That's unfortunate. I was hoping that you'd go and ride the wave here. You're talking, of course, about Cincinnati losing at home to the Diamondbacks 5-4. And the Twins beating the Mariners 11-1, and the Rockies are up 8-1 on the Giants in the top of the 8th inning. So that is all of your afternoon action so far today. A couple things from last night, and then I have 3 other games for you tonight. First, Orioles beat the Nats 7-6 in 12 innings. Nats have been spunky, Scott. I know they lost that game last night. They tied it in the 9th. They tied it in the 10th, and then the Orioles were able to win it. Chris Sale with 10 strikeouts against his former team, first time facing the Red Sox, a 5-0 win for the Braves in Atlanta. And as you mentioned with Davis, Paul Skeens is going to pitch on Saturday, which I think is absolutely outstanding against the Cubbies. Is that at PNC, Scotty, or are they at Wrigley? Where is that game on Saturday? They got to be at home, right?
The game's at PNC on Saturday.
Okay. I was going to say they wouldn't burn a big event like that calling them up on the road. They would have to do that at home to make sure they get that big gate at PNC. So that will happen on Saturday at 4:05 East. Let's start with the Guardians and the White Sox tonight, Scotty. As we said, we have only a couple of games here on the night slate after the afternoon games. We have Ben Lively and Eric Fetty going in this one. The White Sox plus 125 at home, minus $1.55 for the Guardians, and a flat 8 the total in this one.
Yeah, there's no way I'm getting off Cleveland the way they've played this year. I mean, and the way the White Sox have played this year. It's just got to be Cleveland, right?
It's got to be Cleveland. And the White Sox are dreadful. The only team that they can beat is Tampa Bay, it feels like. And they're not playing Tampa Bay tonight. So they're going to have all kinds of
issues. When's Reinsdorf going to sell that team, honest to God? Like, it has gotten so bad in Chicago on the South Side. It's like they don't even exist anymore. Literally, no one goes to the games. They have become the laughing stock. I mean, more A's fans go to the Ashtray than the White Sox games in Chicago. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
The Redbirds are in Milwaukee tonight against the Brewers. Sonny Gray, who's been excellent, Scotty, 4-1 with an under 1 ERA, taking on Tobias Myers. That is the reason why the Brewers are dogs at home. Plus $1.20 for Milwaukee, minus 140 for Sonny Gray, and the Redbirds 7.5 the total.
Well, I know Davis was all over Milwaukee, so I'll take Sonny Gray and the Cardinals, not because of Davis, but because of those numbers you're talking about, and because Myers' ERA, he gives up 7 runs a game.
He has not been good at all. That factors in. You have one of the guys who's been the best so far this year against one of the guys who's been absolutely
give me the over.
And your overnight. And the late night game is in Anaheim, as the Royals will have Michael Waka against Reed Detmers. Royals minus 115 now, slight favorite, minus 105 for the Angels, and another 8.5 for us here. I like the Royals just like Davis.
Well, I like the Angels because they just kicked the Pirates' teeth in Pittsburgh for a few games. And the reality is, every time someone hears Waka's name, they think he's good, and he's actually stunk for the Royals. And he's given up, 5.5 runs a game. He's 1-4. He doesn't win. And Detmers has got better numbers. Detmers has not been bad at all. I'll take the Angels at home.
There you go. A very short schedule on a Thursday night for Major League Baseball.
At least I'm watching the Yankees now, Mike, because I'm not watching baseball later.
Yankees are, well, listen, we've got, as we mentioned, we've got playoff games tonight, and we are going to start to get into those playoff games in the NHL because those have been – how great have these games been this week? Honestly, since the second round has started, you and Gabe kind of mentioned it before, these teams are so even now, these last 8 teams that are left in the Stanley Cup playoffs, that every night has been great. When we come back, I'm going to start to get into last night. Yes, you had the major comeback in Vancouver by the Canucks, but how about the hatred between Florida and Boston?
Love it.
As well, Scotty, that we have to discuss. And you always love, listen, fighting's been out of the game now. They've basically wanted it out of the game. But you had a lot of fights last night in that third period. And when the stars fight, Scotty, when big names throw gloves like Kachuk and Pasternak did last night, it always draws a lot of attention.
I mean, at one point, literally everyone on the ice was in a fight. I just that is fantastic. And you knew it was coming. It was funny because I said to my buddy, I took Boston, as you know, in game 1 at plus 150 and it hit. And they won 5-1. And I said the exact same thing's going to happen the other way. Lay the goal and a half at plus 150 for the Panthers, and they covered. They won 6-1. They kicked their ass. Boston didn't like it, and everybody started brawling. And now you've got one apiece, and they're going to Boston, right? And I think the series is going to get even nastier up at the Garden.
And that's what we love about playoff hockey. You like this, rivalries, teams hate each other. That's what it's all about. It does. It goes back last year. We'll talk about it when we come back.
You got to get more athletic and better defensively, right? You got to get better shooting. And if you can do those two things and hope that Darvingham takes the next step, if you bring him back, they can be better. But if you don't do that, you must more than anything the Lakers, you must get rid of Rob Pelinka and get a better basketball guy.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
Sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
One of the things, Mike, that I noticed last night was you can't win a hockey game with 15 shots on goal.
No. You cannot win a hockey game with 15 shots on goal. And look, the score, this series has been weird so far, right? You look at the scores. Let's say you didn't watch these first two games between Boston and Florida, and you saw 5-1 and 6-1. You'd probably be like, oh, these games probably sucked. Like, that has not been the case at all. These games have been close, and then one team kind of lets go of the rope in the third period, and it looks like a blowout. These games have been close. They've been nasty, but you're right. You need more offense. You cannot generate zero like the Boston Bruins did last night and expect to win the hockey game. The Florida Panthers needed it after losing the first game at home, and they got it, and their big guys all showed up, including Alexander Barkov, Scotty, making it 5-1 on ESPN. Here's Bob for you.
Just in the box serving the penalty as it's left in the high slot. Barkov off the turnover. Gets a return. Barkov shoots. Score! 5-1 Panthers.
Listen to your boy Bob with shoes on. Barkov had a pair. They don't lose when Barkov scores twice. Montour had one. Bobrovsky, when the game was over, just put his street clothes on and left. Didn't even have to shower. He faced 15 shots. He literally never sweat the entire night. He went on a date with his wife.
Here's Boston head coach Jim Montgomery. Monty's had a lot of fun here the last couple of weeks. Is it Swayman's fault? Why'd you pull Swayman? It wasn't his fault. It was the rest of the team.
No, the workload hasn't played into Jeremy Swayman. The workload has played into our effort tonight. We didn't have juice tonight. Swayman was terrific.
Right.
I thought about taking him out at 3-1, going into the third. And then when the fourth goal went in, I was like, well, I'm taking him out now. He made two great saves before it went in.
Listen, I have to stop the press here for a second. This guy, am I crazy? This guy just gave up 2 upper deck shots. Stroman just got lit again. Alvarez hit one. I don't know who hit the second one. The Singleton hit the second one. Now the first one went into the second deck. The Singleton shot went into the upper deck. I mean, did I not just say to you in the break that he's throwing meat pies over the middle of the plate? He is literally throwing pizzas over the middle of the plate. I go, if he keeps throwing it over the middle of the plate, this game's over. It's already 3-0.
Amazing. It really is amazing. He just does not have it today. That's for sure. Does not have it whatsoever. All right. Next I have for you. Let's hear from Paul Maurice Panthers side on all the fights after the game. The fights, and we love Paul Maurice here on Coast to Coast. Here he is.
We do.
Oh, boys being boys. No, all I wanted with the refs coming over, they were handing out 10s like they were candy at that point, and he wouldn't have known, but Barkov at that point, he had played a shift defense, which he loves to do. I'm not really excited about it. Just if you're going to start throwing everybody, can you throw a few forwards out? Leave me a couple of defensemen, that's all. Look at it. It's just a game, you know, and these guys play hard and they care about their teammates. So the energy gets up and everybody, well, that was good. If you paid money to come to the rink tonight, you had a hell of a night.
Right? I mean, that's why we love him. He's right. Like, there is no fan on the face of the earth that goes to a hockey game that doesn't enjoy that many brawls. I mean, you're sitting there loving life at that hockey game. And I mean, I was sitting there watching it, loving life. So I can't imagine being there. You pay to see that, you got your money's worth. There was plenty of brawls. Look, these are two really good teams that hate each other's guts. Like, they have started having a rivalry. It started last year in a 7-game series that Verhaeghe hit the winner in the 7th overtime to win it. And then now here they go again, 1-1. There's 5 left. Let's see the first one to win 3 more.
Here is the updated series odds. Of course, they'll go back to Boston tomorrow night for game number 3, -185 for Florida, plus $1.50 for the Bruins. It is now a best of 5 heading to Boston. I still like the Panthers, Scotty. I still think Florida wins this series.
I like a split in Boston and Sea and Sunrise and the PF Chang's at the Sawgrass Mall for game 5 with your boy Waldo.
That's right. Waldo's going to game 5. Now he knows he'll definitely be there with a 1-1 tie going back there. The other game last night, big comeback by the Canucks. 5-4, they beat the Oilers. They take the first game of the series. Of course, they were down 4-1 in this game, Scotty. They got a goal early in the third by JT Miller. And then here come the Canucks on Sportsnet.
McCann with a slick outlet, and out comes Vancouver. Holtweiler spins it. Blueger got a man going to the net, but he curled back. Here's his shot. Makina Zadorov. Vancouver and Edmonton 2-3, and here comes Garland in. Fakes the shot. Scores! Connor Garland!
It reminds me of the commercial with the family, the Geico commercial where the horn goes off all the time and the lady can't even clip her plants. I mean, that thing is so painful. But what a team this Vancouver club is, because they just seem to own the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton's better than them, faster than them, more loaded, deeper, you name it. And then every time they play Vancouver, they lose. It really is unbelievable. They were up 4-1. Now, listen, I don't care what anybody says. That's a choke. You can call it whatever you want. They choked. You're up 4-1. You got to win the game. It's no different than Nashville up 3-1 on them with 3 minutes left, and they let Vancouver win that game in the Lindholm overtime at Smashville. Honestly, it's a choke. You're up 3-1, 4-1. You got to win the game. I don't care where it is, when it is, what time it is.
We will come back, and I want to play you Connor McDavid, who did not have a shot on goal, I think, for the first time ever in the playoffs. And the Edmonton Oilers as a team, Scotty, barely had any shots on goal in that third period as the Vancouver Canucks were coming back and taking that lead. So we'll hear from the great Connor McDavid. We'll hear from McDavid when we come back.
You got to get more athletic and better defensively, right? You got to get better shooting. And if you can do those two things and hope that Darvingham takes the next step, if you bring him back, they could be better. But if you don't do that, you must more than anything Lakers. You must get rid of Rob Pelinka and get a better basketball guy.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
Sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Judge has been picking it up lately. He just ripped one down the line, foul with 2 on, and if that would have been fair, it would have been 3-2. But he's been hitting home runs and tearing it up since last week.
Well, why? And it kind of coincides, right, Scotty? Last week he starts picking it up, and now he's hitting the ball. Why? Because think about that. What was it, about 5 weeks? How much spring training did he miss with all his injuries? About 4 weeks, whatever it was.
The whole
he didn't
thing.
get all those at bats. He basically went opening day cold without getting any work, and it's taken him 4 or 5 weeks to start hitting the ball like he usually does. So, and now he's hitting it on the screws. And you know what? We kill Stanton a lot. Stanton's been good, Scotty, actually.
Stanton's been good. I'll give you that.
Stanton's actually been good. He's been hitting some long. Now look, it's always a strikeout or a homer. But
he's been hitting a lot of homers.
And he's hitting some doubles too that have driven in some key runs. So Stanton's actually been pretty good for the Yankees so far this year. All right, here's the Connor McDavid I wanted to play you. Here he is last night, the great Connor, after the team blows a 4-1 lead, now lose the first game of the series against Vancouver, who they haven't beaten all year long. Here he is.
They're a good team, and they were doing everything they could to come back, and we were doing everything we could to hold on to the lead. That happens in the playoffs. You try to...
Not really.
Hold on to leads, and sometimes you're a little bit maybe too passive. I thought we were doing a good job holding the lead, and they find a way to get two, and find a way to get a third there to win.
Yeah, none of that was accurate at all. That's what that is. That's locker room bullshack is what that is.
Look, he's obviously the best player in the world. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's not right now. Look, Crosby, me and you, we've talked about this a lot. You take a player over the last 20 years, it's Crosby still. Connor's obviously younger than Sid right now. You want to factor all those things in. But he just feels like, maybe it's different in the room, like he has no passion whatsoever. He just doesn't. It's always that same interview that we just played.
Right.
When they lose one of these big playoff games, it's always that. And he plays in, look, there's a lot of media in Edmonton that probably give him business. And it's not like he's in Toronto or New York. But he just seems like he wants to be just left alone. Like, it's kind of like, look, I just play. I don't really care. That's kind of the vibe he gives off sometimes.
Well, I think you're right. And I think that's fairly pathetic. I'll tell you what, here's the deal where I come from. Even Ovechkin got his cup. Okay. Ovechkin played and put up numbers like McDavid. Let's face facts. I mean, he's 40 away from Gretzky. So I think your boy earned a Stanley Cup at some point. Connor McDavid has to win a Stanley Cup for me to listen to you tell me he's the best player in the world. No player is the best player in the world that hasn't won a Stanley Cup. If you haven't won a Stanley Cup, you can talk all you want about how great you are. But the bottom line is he knows it. When he goes to bed at night, he knows he doesn't have a Stanley Cup, and Crosby's got 3 of them.
I'll put it to you a different way then, because you're right. He's not the best player in the world for those. When you put accolades into it and he is the most physically gifted player in the world now. There you go. That's how we could say it. Talented,
he
physically
needs to win
gifted.
a cup.
Without question, he needs to win a cup. He can, for how good he has been, he cannot be one of these guys that never wins. He just can't. He cannot be one of those guys.
Honestly.
And eventually, it will happen for him. Will it happen in Edmonton? I don't know. But
I certainly hope not.
I certainly hope not either. For the series now,
I'm not rooting for him to win a Stanley Cup. I got to be honest with you. Like, I think it's fantastic watching him lose every year, and the Leafs, and Canada. And I love the Prime Minister and Gabe, but honestly, it's been so long. I wanted to just keep going. All I hear about is how Canada's better at everything in hockey, and they just aren't.
No, they're not. Edmonton is still favored in the series despite blowing that lead last night. They're minus 140 and Vancouver's plus 120. They're still favored in the series.
Of course they are. Here's the Astros teeing off on Showman again in the second.
More
They're teeing
homers?
off on him. Lead-off double. At least I
if
got
they're
one
gonna hit all these
baseball game
homers,
right.
Can Kyle Tucker at least hit one if we're going to have all these guys hitting home runs?
Can we get a Tucker?
Can we get a Tucker home run? He's been hitting for me a lot lately. It's hard for me to beg.
And you haven't been doing the home run dingers on this show, which is a massive fail, honestly, with all your home run hitters.
Here's what I will say. There was not a lot of games tonight, so it's hard when there's a limited slate.
Tomorrow's the Little League game.
Listen, how about
the
this?
humanity.
Even though I'm not here,
you give
I'll
them to
put
me.
it in the rundown. I'll leave the taters for you on the show. We'll do that.
You got to get more athletic and better defensively, right? You got to get better shooting. And if you can do those 2 things and hope that Darvingham takes the next step, if you bring him back, they could be better. But if you don't do that, you must more than anything the Lakers. You must get rid of Rob Pelinka and get a better basketball guy.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
Sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Capel is our NFL insider on SportsGrid. You can see him across the board, and you can see him here regularly on Coast to Coast. You can catch him on Game Time Decisions, The Early Line, you name it. Adam Kaplan. He's got well over 2 decades covering the NFL, and you can follow him at Kaplan NFL on X to get even deeper into the world of our boy Cap. So I want to start with this at the very least. We were talking earlier, Carver High and I, about this kid Rice's career imploding before our very eyes. What is happening in Kansas City with this guy between the reckless driving scene, driving 100 miles an hour, crashing cars, leaving the scene of the crime, and then now this week he's got problems in nightclubs, allegedly assaulting people. What his career's going to be over before it starts.
By the way, let's go to the latter story, the alleged situation at a nightclub. That's all it is right now. I'm not going to go any further with it and speculate on anything on that story. I'm going to tell you about the other one. So the NFL will make a decision, I'm sure, before training camp starts in late July for the Chiefs, when Rice has got a report in terms of how long his suspension will be. He's going to get suspended. The question is how long. Is it 4 or 6 games? Is it 8 games? We don't know that. But he admitted to what had been alleged, because there's video of it. He admitted to what he did. Reckless driving, speeding, you can't do that. Can't drag race, can't do that. And he's admitted to it. And this has been a problem, not only in football, Scott. We've had some instances with this in the National Football League, but we had it with a tragic situation in the NBA. Remember Bobby Fields with the Hornets? It was terrible. Can't have that stuff. So now you have this latest thing. And again, because it's so sketchy, I've read the reports, very sketchy what's been alleged. We have no idea. But after the incident with the speeding, the reckless driving, you would think he would want to avoid anything that could potentially get him in trouble and impact his roster spot with the Chiefs. Because now he could be on borrowed time here. He's got to watch everything that he does. He can't have anything off the field happen to him. So this is a situation we'll monitor. We'll know more about it next time we talk. But I looked into it earlier today. I'm like, there's too much conflicting information. And when that's out there like that, you just can't comment on something unless you know something more definitive. Like the first real situation we all know about, and which happened.
Fair enough. Let's talk about the Dolphins and why they decided to sign OBJ.
Yeah, this thing was interesting. So he visited in recent weeks. I know Dolphins fans were like, well, okay, we have 2 starters. Why do we need OBJ? Last year, late in the season, week 17 and 18, Jalen Waddle, their former first-round pick, he was out with an injury. And you could just see how their passing game, you got to have more than Tyreek Hill. And they didn't have any good backups. They didn't have quality backups. Coaches will tell me over the year, Scott, is if this player gets hurt, what is our answer? They had no answer last season, and they had no answer going forward. So they brought OBJ in. The visit went well. He signed this week. Last year, Scott, he made $15 million with the Ravens. But I can tell you this, teams that I talked to watch his tape, they said he clearly could still play. He didn't catch the ball a lot. He caught less than 40 passes, but he averaged over 16 yards per catch. By the way, 16.1 yards per catch was the highest per catch average of any season over his career. Remember, he was a first-round pick in 2014. So he still can play, but he's not a starter. We have to understand at some point, and he turns 32 in November, receivers are not going to be the same. They're going to lose their legs a little bit. They're not going to have the same explosion, but he could still run. That's the key here. And the Dolphins clearly need a number 3 receiver, which he's going to be. He's not going to be a starter. He's going to be a number 3 receiver and the first backup off the bench if somebody gets hurt.
Well, and every time I turn around, one of those receivers on the Dolphins gets hurt. So it makes some semblance of sense to me that they would sign him. He's still capable. I will tell you that this next one, the Robinson signing with the Giants, leaves me a little bit perplexed because, I mean, I watched this guy on the Steelers. What, did he catch 1 pass the whole season?
I hear you. So I talked to Allen Robinson back at the Combine. He was working with us at Sirius. And I said, hey, man, what are you going to do? He said, I still want to play. And then he would be released a few weeks later by your Steelers. Look, he's not the same player he once was. Here's another player. You notice the trend, Scott, after the draft. Everyone who's signing now is a backup. Now, the Giants don't have a lot of experience. They have a lot of guys who could run. They have a lot of slot receivers. Their starting receivers now will be Darius Slayton, who's explosive, and, of course, Malik Neighbors, their first-round pick out of LSU. But experience and depth is an issue for this team, and he could play inside or outside. But you're not asking Allen Robinson, who turns 31 in August, to play 50 snaps a game. That's not what he is. The key to evaluation of a player is you get what he is and what he isn't. But he could play, I'm told, inside or outside. He could still play. But I think talking to the Steelers, Scott, the reason why they made that trade with the Rams was, and they restructured his contract, they wanted experience and high character for their locker room. You remember they had George Pickens, a little bit immaturity. Deontay Johnson, did he want to be there? Did he not want to be there? They wanted someone to help their locker room. And Allen Robinson, from talking to people who work with him, is a pretty good locker room guy. And he'll help them. But on your point, you're not asking him to play a ton of snaps, and he's not going to get 50 catches. You might look at 30 at most, but plan on him being a Giant this season.
I think Neighbors is going to be really exciting. I did want to ask you, though, about Najee Harris, that they hadn't picked up his fifth-year option. What do you think happens to Harris moving forward?
All right, here's why they didn't pick it up, as I understand it. The fifth-year option, Scott, is fully guaranteed. In the latest CBA, in the previous CBA, the fifth-year option, you could roll it over, but it was not guaranteed. So it was only guaranteed for injury, which rarely comes up. So they didn't want to fully guarantee it was over $6 million. So that's all. We've seen plenty of players who are not, they didn't have the fifth-year option pickup. Not a high percentage, but enough of them where you go, okay, I get what they're doing. Where they don't want to pay them that big salary for the next season. And then what they wind up doing is they do a different deal. No, look, they love this 1-2 punch with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. You know, Jaylen Warren, by the way, this is the thing with Warren. He'll be a restricted free agent after this season. What kind of player could he be if Harris wasn't brought back next season? Could he be a full-time starter? He's great in that complementary role, but is he a guy that could come off the bench and be a starter either with the Steelers here or somewhere else in 2025 and beyond? That their 1-2 punch is great. The reason why, and we talked about this earlier this week, the Steelers have kind of everything you need. They've readdressed their offensive line. We know how good they are running the football. They're young at receiver. They need a little bit more depth. They're getting a lot of injured guys back on defense. They've addressed their secondary. Joey Porter Jr. now a full-time starter. They're going to be a playoff team. But the one thing is, I don't know if they're going to be as good as Baltimore or some of the elite teams like Kansas City, but they're going to be better than they were last season. I know Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game since 2017. We all know that. But the fact of the matter is the roster is better. And the big news is they've addressed their offensive line and 3 changes there, which had been, as you know, for years, since before Roethlisberger retired, clearly was not very good. And now it has a chance to be pretty solid.
So Bud Dupree, I heard, was having meetings with them and several other teams. A lot of interest in this guy. You think he goes back there?
Bud Dupree, former first-round pick of the Steelers, and he's had some injuries in his career, an ACL injury. He is what we call a DPR, a designated pass rusher. 20 to 25 plays a game. He could give a club off the bench. He's no longer a starter. A lot of injuries, but he's got great size for the position. And look, it's the thing that Khan is concerning is Atlanta needs to get him back because Atlanta does not have a pass rush. They're a disciplined defense. They need a pass rush. So if he gets away, you have to answer, well, why would they let him go? But your Steelers are looking for depth as pass rushers. Remember, Marcus Golden did a good job as a free agent for pass rusher for the Steelers last season.
Yeah, Atlanta needed defense and pass rushers, so they went out and drafted a quarterback. That's why people are making fun of him.
I know.
Adam, great stuff. Thank you very much.
See you next time.
you got to get more athletic and better defensively, right? You got to get better shooting. And if you can do those two things and hope that Darvin takes the next step, if you bring him back, they could be better. But if you don't do that, you must more than anything the Lakers, you must get rid of Rob Pelinka and get a better basketball guy.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
Sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Check out our new betting market for the NHL playoffs. You can only get it at BetMGM. They have the empty net goal markets for entire slates as well as specific games. Find them in the app under the NHL tab and then the props tab. You can also find the specific game markets under each game along with the NHL props tab. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, you can bet them as much as possible on the BetMGM mobile app. You're going to love it. Check it out at BetMGM.com. All right, tonight's games in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Carver High.
I'm going to do that right now. I just wanted to give you some updated information that we got from the Knicks, Scotty, and that is OG Anunoby, left hamstring strain. He is officially out for Game 3 tomorrow night against the Pacers. Jalen Brunson is listed as questionable with a foot injury, which, of course, when he left the second quarter last night, but he finished the game. That is now Pacers -7 for Game 3 tomorrow night in Indiana.
Carver High thinks the Knicks should just fold it up and throw Game 3.
Pretend it's January 15th, scheduled night off. Sit the guys.
Burks and McBride in the backcourt.
You get a little Deuce, little Jericho Sims.
Big Ragu.
Burks a little burn. Hey, why not? Scheduled night off. Take the loss. Move on in the series. That's what the Knicks should do.
I actually think DiVincenzo and Hart can do whatever they want against the Pacers in this game. You wonder if the 7 is too high right now. That's the question, because I think 65% of the money's on the Knicks and the 7, and no one believes the Pacers can cover 7. I think the Pacers are going to whack the Knicks tomorrow night.
Look, every game's been to the death with the Knicks, but they're going to be a little more shorthanded than usual tomorrow night. That number's 7 for a reason, Scotty. And if I was sitting here right now, 24 hours before, I'd probably lay the 7 with you.
So I already know
Indiana.
that my Friday night is already ruined, just ruined, and it's Thursday.
It's well, look. The good thing is that you've also got. You got 2 NHL playoff games. You're going to have the Minnesota-Denver Game 3. After that, you've got some other options.
Honestly, the Knicks, what the Knicks do to my bodily functions and organs, I'm aging rapidly watching the Knicks.
I won't even see the Knick game. I'm going to be at Citi Field for the Mets and the Braves.
You might get might get some kind of disease out at that place. I mean, that place is bad luck. I can't believe you're going there. I would never go there for any reason. I would send your wife. with Ray Lewis, even though you're the manager. Due to your Yankee fandom, you cannot be seen at that place. Go incognito. Wear a clown outfit or something. Don't let anyone see you there publicly.
Hey, there's one thing they do got there. They got good beer and they got good food. Whether you like that, they do got those things going for them over at that ballpark.
I hate those mother Ferrellers.
Let's get to tonight. NHL, 2 games. Game 3, the scene shifts to Raleigh for the Rangers and the Hurricanes. Rod Brindamore, Scotty, changing things up. Freddie Anderson to the bench. And your boy, Kochetkov, is going to be between the pipes tonight for Carolina. Rangers now plus 145, minus $1.75 for Carolina. They're the favorites and a 5.5 total. I think the Hurricanes get this back to 2-1 tonight at home.
Oh, that's automatic. The question is, can you lay 1.5 goals here and try to make some money? Because
yes.
Yeah, I honestly believe that tonight you have an opportunity here because I think Carolina's going to kill them tonight because they've got their ass beat twice in New York, 4-3, couldn't do anything. I just want to see, like, late what that price is on laying 1.5 goals. It's plus $1.58. It was at like around $1.60 or something, $1.62 or something this morning. I did it. I'm on Carolina minus 1.5 goals to try to make the big payout. I think they're going to light them up tonight in Raleigh. Nothing's gone their way at all so far in New York. It's time for payback.
Time for payback indeed. It would be time for payback for Dallas as well. Game number 2 for them. I wouldn't even call it payback. I would just call it, maybe finishing the job tonight. They had a 3-0 lead against Colorado in game number 1. They yacked that up, and then they lost in overtime. So now we'll skip on DeBoer. We're past him. Obviously, the Stars have lost a lot of these games won, Scotty, and they have been able to bounce back. They are minus 135 tonight. Avalanche plus $1.15 and a 6.5 total in Big D.
Geez, are we really going to see 7 goals again in this? Dallas can't play that game if they expect to win. I think it's got to be an under if they're going to win. And I got to be honest with you, after they got in their head down, 3-0 and you win 4-3, they're in their head. I think, frankly, Colorado can beat them again and go home 2-0. I think you can get them at $1.18 to beat them again. I mean, you beat them once. You're down 3 goals. That had to screw them up mentally. They know how fast they are. You know how talented they are. This Shukin guy scores a goal every game. So I don't have a problem putting a little piece on Colorado in the under.
Look, I think you said it perfectly. Dallas can't do this. And I know that DeBoer tried to sell the other day. We played a clip of him like, well, we're probably going to play a little bit more pace with Colorado. They need to go the 2-1 route. That's where Dallas is going to win games in this series, by shutting down Colorado, or at least trying to limit Colorado as best as they can. I think Dallas wins tonight, Scotty. I don't feel great about it, but I think Dallas does win and gets this 1-1. I think this is going to be a long series, kind of like Florida-Boston. I think you see a little give back from the home team.
Fair enough. I prefer actually just watching that hot blonde behind the Stars bench. Are we on the air?
Well,
we are.
Look, the longer the series goes, the more opportunities you will get to be involved with that situation.
What a
we'll come back.
What a season ticket holder. What a fan.
We'll come back. A goodbye video from Sheldon Keefe to Toronto, and then the Ferrall finish right after that.
you got to get more athletic and better defensively, right? You got to get better shooting. And if you can do those two things and hope that Darvingham takes the next step, if you bring them back, they could be better. But if you don't do that, you must more than anything the Lakers, you must get rid of Rob Pelinka and get a better basketball guy.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So where was he? Like on a boat or something? This Sheldon Keefe. It looked like he was out on Lake Ontario.
I actually thought this was awesome. This is so much better than the boring, social media goodbye to the fans and the city. Your boy's like, by the way, I'm going to go to spend all this money you owe me the next 3 years right here on this lake or lake house or boathouse, wherever he's at. Sheldon Keefe loving life with those bags of money he's going to get for being fired by the Maple Leafs.
Leafs Nation, time has come to say goodbye. Writing down a note and sending it out didn't seem like enough, and I do plan on taking a little break from media, so here I am. I'm forever grateful for the opportunity to coach the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a dream come true for a boy from Brampton. I didn't get it done in the playoffs. I didn't help push our team over the line and deliver. I accept responsibility for that. No excuses. That's the job. I didn't get it done.
Wow.
It's the reality of the business, and I accept it.
I
Falls
mean,
on the sword.
stones on that guy. At least he said it, right? Like, I like that.
Hey.
Like, it's my fault, and it is what it is, and that's the way it works in this business. And you're right, Mike. Thanks for the free money. I'll see you later.
Look at my view. I'm going to enjoy this the next couple of years. The San Jose Sharks won the draft lottery. They have the first pick. They're expected to take top-ranked prospect Macklin Celebrini, whose dad is like the head of medicine for the Warriors, Scotty.
Yeah.
In the San Francisco area as well. So that's pretty crazy that he's going to go to San Jose. NHL draft will be at the Sphere in Vegas. That'll be fun. Sean O'Malley wants to fight. He is. UFC bantamweight champ Sean O'Malley wants to fight Conor McGregor at 155 pounds. The only reason everyone wants to fight Conor McGregor is they know that they'll beat him up and they'll make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
Real Madrid stunned Bayern Munich with 2 late goals. They reached the Champions League final against Borussia Dortmund, Scotty. Dortmund making the Champions League final this year. How about that?
The black and gold. And what about this Leverkusen? Have they won 49 straight games?
Something like that.
They won again today.
Very well.
They never
They've
lose.
been playing well. The Bundesliga, very high.
Yeah, the Bundesliga. All right, Ferrall finished. Former NBA player, Big Baby Glenn Davis, sentenced to 3.5 years in prison for his role in a scheme to fraud the NBA's insurance policy. Your boy, Big Baby, is going to become a big baby in the lockup. Indy star columnist Greg Doyle, who's painful, has been suspended, will not be allowed to cover Fever games after his cringy Caitlin Clark comments at her opening press conference where he perved out on her and tried to, ask her out or something, see if maybe they could get it on. This guy used to do my show a long time ago, and then, he became, a columnist at the Indy Star and acted like he was some kind of big shot with us and never talked to us again. How's it going now, Greg? I'm just asking, like, because it seems like you're the male organ of the month club now, huh? Big tough guy. You wussy. What a pervert. You heard me. Quote me on that. Tell him I said so. I'll beat your ass. 17-year-old girl stabbed to death outside her New York City apartment building. What a lovely city we live in. It is really the greatest city in the world. Over 6,000 Russian troops killed in 6 days, bringing the death toll to over 500,000 dead since the war began. What a waste of time that's been. Teen charged as an adult after he ambushes a male teacher in the hall and slaps a female teacher in class. My guy was going off, beating people up, slapping women teachers. It's a no-no. U.S. and Australian surfers were found executed in vicious slayings after a carjacking in Mexico. They took their car tires. Then they took their heads off. Aspiring doctor brain dead after his friends pushed him into a lake knowing that he can't swim. Who needs friends if you have friends like this? Your friends know you can't swim, and they think it's funny to shove you in the lake, and now he's brain dead? I think they should hang the people that did it in the town square at high noon. Like, hang them. Like Clint Eastwood would have hung them. You know what I mean? Can we hang people anymore? Frank, no, don't talk about hanging people, he's saying in my ear. Fiance of the Wisconsin teacher arrested for relations with a 5th grader says their wedding is off. Wedding is off after you banged a 5th grader.
Had to shut that one down, huh? Had to close that one up. He said no good.
Volpe just hit a home run. Thank God for that. A man fatally stabbed in a fight at a bodega in New York City over a can of beer. Now, these are things that I'm willing to fight for, and Carver High. Do not mess with us when we roll into the bodega looking for a 40. GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnTheBench.com, where no one will be stabbed or slapped today. We'll see you tomorrow on Coast to Coast.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-to-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the 2nd or 3rd inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here, because I'll tell you, that's a bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Ferrall Coast